People that think they can't gain weight because they have a fast metabolism, quote unquote, aren't eating enough.
You gotta eat more.
And people that think they have a slow metabolism and I can't lose weight are eating too much.
You don't say.
That's just how it goes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say like everybody else, go fuck yourself, eat less, move more, period, end of story. Calories are the only thing that matters. Calories do matter. But the sustainability of your mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and more importantly, digestion, and this whole process of it is what makes the calorie deficit, or surplus in this case, sustainable for long enough to make those physiological changes. Change in the mind can happen, boom. You think a thought, it causes an emotion, and now you're spiritually connected to the whole thing. Whether you want to call that God, Mother Nature, or the fucking quantum field, you know what I mean? Whether you're a science, a spirituality, or a religion person, it's all the fucking same thing. Or all the above, because you actually know everything is connected, and you get all these little lessons that we're fucking dropping for you here. Sometimes it's breadcrumbs, but sometimes it's just a red pill, and we fucking stuff it up your ass. But you got to do what you got to do, all right? Welcome back to The Bridge Podcast. I'm Sean Dixon.
The Bridge. John Matthew here.
How you doing today, man?
I'm feeling like we got some talking to do about Joey.
So we got fucking
Joey Bag of Donuts.
We wrapped up Maria. Who is a mother of two, losing weight, and she's doing well. So that was our fat loss, where we did a consultation and then programming and diet. So now we're going to do a hypertrophy, which is gaining muscle as the goal. And we have Joey
Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Gabagool
is going to want to build some muscle. All right, so we're going to do his consultation today, get to know Joey, establish an emotional connection, and get him believing in himself and the program. Because any relationship is all about trust and communication. Coach, an athlete, business partner, spouse, what have you. Trust and communication is the only way that that's going to work. So let's get right into it. Joey fucking Gabagool is 24 years old. Okay? He's sleeping like 5 hours a night because he's up all night shaking his dick on TikTok and playing Call of Duty and whatever the fuck, right? He's 5'8". He only weighs 140. All right, so he's got like a skinny fat body. So skinny fat, just it's like a slang terminology, but it's like pretty common where somebody looks skinny in a t-shirt, like not a lot of muscle, but you're like, oh, he looks fine. Yeah, no mass, but he's got pot belly.
But percentage-wise, body fat percentage-wise, which is obviously more important.
So he's like chubby and skinny at the same time, which stinks for health and mental confidence and what have you, right? So Joey's 5'8", weighs 140, all right, wants to gain some muscle. So what does he want to do? He wants to get to 185. So that's a big jump. So what we're telling him is in this first cycle or two or phase or two, we'll get you to 170. We'll take our reflection period that we talked about before and we'll talk about more. And then eventually we'll figure out how we're going to get to 185. But basically he wants to gain a bunch of muscle, right? He's sitting approximately at 20% body fat, which is chubby but not fat. So we're skinny fat with a t-shirt on and a pot belly with no t-shirt on and pipe cleaners for arms and whatnot. And he's wearing a fucking extra medium t-shirt and it's baggy. And so he's about 20% body fat. And we want to gain so much muscle without so much fat that he gets to like 16 to 18% body fat. So the scale is going to go up, but percentage-wise, fat to muscle ratio percentage is going to go down, which makes you look better, kick more ass, healthier, and more confident. All right? He currently is working. He just graduated from the University of Kentucky. I don't know why that came into my head. Wow, maybe they had decent baseball, but not great. Yeah. Texas got great baseball. Anyway, I don't know who's great right now. I don't know why I made up Kentucky. Like blue popped into my head. So he just graduated from college. He was a baseball player, but now he's working at the Amazon warehouse. So he's doing fucking 30,000 steps a day. So he has plenty of movement. So we don't have to worry about that. And his health markers are absolutely fine. So all these goals are purely aesthetic, just to gain muscle. All right. He claims his why, which to us is the most important thing for sustainability. We're like, why do you want to build a whole bunch of muscle, Joey? And he's like, what the fuck do you think? I want to start swiping girls on Tinder. I want to get more confidence and start banging hot chicks. And I'm like, okay.
All right.
I hear you. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But there's always a deeper why to everything, right? So then we start peeling the layers back and we realize he thinks he can't get hot chicks, quote unquote hot chicks, because he is skinny fat, because he doesn't have muscle. And he sees you got to be a douchebag and you got to have muscle to get girls. So you think. But we'll break that down too. But what we realize is he's identified himself with being a college baseball player, and now he's no longer a college baseball player. So his ego is
a little
hurt.
lost with who he is. You know?
He feels like he's dead because his identity is no longer there. College baseball was easy because he had status and clout and confidence based upon his performance. He had a team, tribe, and community getting his back, and it was easy to get girls, and his friends were right there.
Yep.
Now his friends fucking have their own jobs, and they're drinking every night, and they don't want to like support him in going to bed early, drinking protein shakes, and eating healthy, and that's fine. That doesn't mean that they're not your friends. It means you have to take some time for yourself to accomplish your goals, right? So basically what I'm saying is every time there's a goal, that's fine, but that's surface level and superficial, which is also fine.
Yeah.
But I like to peel back to layers to find out why. So we realize he's going through a little bit of anxiety and depression because he's lost in
quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crisis. We've all been there because in the beginning, you're just figuring stuff out, and then you think you figured stuff out, but you have so much more to figure out.
Yeah, it's one thing, too, especially like some people feel that way during high school and college, but if you have such a strong identity like you did with baseball and a sport, and that's who you are, and then you do that's who you think you are, and that's who you don't go to the next level with that, and now you can't play.
Lost.
You're not playing baseball anymore. What do you do now?
Nope. Yeah. It's just Friday Night Lights where it's just babies and memories and telling stories. Yeah. And whatever. So, real quick, he thinks, Joey fucking Gabagool over here, thinks that only assholes get hot chicks. Have you heard this before? They don't like nice guys?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting who says that, but yeah.
It's interesting who says that. Because what it is the archetype of what a douchebag guy, the energy that he puts off, meaning like confidence.
Yeah.
So that's what they want is authenticity and confidence. You can still be nice and have confidence. What they don't want is a nice guy who's timid and lacks the qualities.
And you can say the same thing about chicks. The guys say the same thing about chicks.
What's the reciprocal?
Or guys always date like the bitchy, like I've heard, the popular chick, or like the whole.
Because you're looking for her to fucking put out quickly, or whatever, and not make an actual connection.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody's looking for the wrong thing. Everybody's on the surface level.
Everybody's lacking something. They think they're lacking something, and everybody's looking for it in somebody else.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting to.
So you get emotionally,
stuck.
And like people looking for. That's why people get attracted to confidence, whether that person's an asshole or not, because they don't have it in themselves.
Exactly. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep Joey fucking Donuts the fucking same sweet, nice, confident, sweet, nice kid he is, but we're gonna build some confidence.
Yeah.
And that
don't need to be a dick.
Don't need to be a dick about it. That's my point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I articulated that properly, but the point is they're actually attracted to confidence and authenticity. Douchebags just happen to project that because they don't have a filter and they're aggressive and stuff like that. So aggression makes girls think you have high testosterone, and confidence is sexy for anybody.
Yeah.
But in nowhere do you have to be a fucking asshole or a douchebag in that. You could be nice and have confidence and know yourself and have self-awareness. So that's what we're getting to. So Joey's a nice kid. So we're going to use the adversity and the goal setting and the fear conquering of lifting weights to build actual confidence. So in reality, we're building muscle, but what we're doing is building confidence.
Yeah.
So like I said, his support system, this is why he needs us to coach him and write everything, because not that he's not a former athlete, because he is, but his support system of his buddies are staying up all night, playing video games and drinking beers because they sleep in and work on Zoom on the stock market or whatever the fuck they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So we went over his body fat percentage goals. So I like to tag some performance goals in. If we're just trying to fucking move some shit from A to B and not actually gain any strength, we're not going to gain any muscle. And as you'll see, the whole thing is diet. But for performance goals, his bench press is on or about 165 pound bench press. We want to get that up to 225.
Yeah.
That's 2 big wheels on each side. Feels good.
Ooh, feels really good.
275 pound deadlift, we want to get up that to 365. All right? So these are obtainable numbers in the short to midterm that we can hit, that those are also going to build confidence.
Yeah.
That snowballs downhill and builds more confidence to stick on the diet and stay with everything sustainably, because this is a long road. Like I said, X amount of months to get from the 140 to 170 that he wants to get to, but we could be looking at 2 to 5 years or more to get to the 185. And guess what? That's fine.
It's not linear.
Nothing is linear, and it's all slow and steady.
For those numbers too, if like that seems like a big jump for you, one of the big things is that we're going to clean up a lot of his technique, because he's been a bro lifter essentially. He's done team lifts, but didn't really take it too seriously. Just arms, bench, that kind of deal. So just correcting technique, we can add a lot of weight on top of building mass, eating right, and writing up a solid program. So
yep, everybody thinks correcting technique is going to make you not get hurt, which is true. But what it's doing is putting tension on the proper amount of muscles, and then the proper muscles we're trying to target, and then allow progressive overload. Because if you can't go up because your form is shit, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we need to clean up. So, just like Maria, we're going to take him through a phase 1. For Maria, for losing fat, it was basically just drink more water and become more aware of what you're eating so we can make substitutions. So, that's very similar to what we're going to do with Joey. So, whether you're losing weight or gaining muscle, you're going to need water, okay? Lots of water. Surprise, surprise, all right? You are made up of mostly water.
Is key
to everything. And not only are you made up of mostly water, but most of your muscle and your muscle glycogen.
How much of the plant is made up of water?
It's approximately 70%.
You don't say.
How much of the body is made up of water?
Approximately 70%.
Fucking coincidences everywhere, guys. This is unbelievable. They don't stop. Maybe how much more math until the coincidences are mathematically impossible and everything is actually connected?
Somebody will find a way to
shoot us down, or we'll be banned.
Yeah.
And that's when you're really winning.
That's when you win. That's how you know you won.
Well, that's the goal. So we're going to get fucking Joey Brajol over here to fucking carry around either a gallon jug of water, just because it's like easy to track, because that's what he's shooting for, even though I don't really fuck with plastic too much. So
we'll get a half gallon.
We'll get him a half gallon stainless steel joint, and he'll fill it up a couple of 2-3 times. Yeah. All right. We're going to have him shut off the video games, and instead of fucking 1 a.m., he's shutting it off at 10. Yeah. So that's taking us from 5 hours of sleep to 8 hours of sleep on paper, even if he doesn't fall asleep right away, because the body's going to take some time.
Yeah, not only is that just more time sleeping, it's also less stimulation of just screen time, just staring at.
So when you're fucking shooting Nazi zombies or whatever, you're in sympathetic nervous system where your body's still in like fight or flight.
I'd say so. You're shooting fucking zombie Nazis.
You know what I mean? So when we unplug that shit, we're going to get into the parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. So even if the sleep goes from 5 to 7 hours, like you said, exponential gains.
And that's super overlooked as an aspect of fat loss or muscle gain.
Everything.
Your body, like how many people do you know that can't lose body fat that always say, or they're the ones that are freaking out about the fact they can't lose body fat. They're in a high state of stress, and what do you know? That high state of stress is prevented from losing fat. Same thing. How many people do you know can't gain weight? Spend most of the time stressing about not gaining weight. Those are the guys that don't gain weight. The people who do make success and do lose weight and do gain muscle are the people that are able to let it go and just focus on the program, focus on the purpose and the deeper why, and let go of all that stuff.
Levels to this
shit. Get in a parasympathetic state, your body will be more apt to change in that state than a sympathetic state.
Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. All works together, even if you just want biceps for the girls.
Yeah.
Or so you think.
Spiritual biceps.
So you think. Right. So you think. So we're going to get him sleeping a little bit better, right? He's going to start becoming mindful and tracking his food because, pop quiz, what is the number one thing people say when they think they can't gain weight?
I'm eating so much.
I eat so much. Oh my God.
Do you really?
Everybody that says that doesn't eat shit.
Yes. And then you ask them, well, how much you eat? And it's like, a lot. Oh, that's a number.
So you have no fucking idea. Okay, so what'd you have for breakfast? Well, I didn't have breakfast because I was late, so I had a coffee. Next thing you know, okay, what'd you have for lunch? Taco Bell.
What'd
you have and then I didn't eat until dinner, and I fucking
I'm so full.
Went to Mom's and had meatballs, but I'm full, and then I went to bed. And that's your problem right there.
Joey.
Fucking Joey meatballs over here. So we're going to become more mindful and start tracking of what we're eating. Because here's the thing. People that think they can't gain weight and say that they're hard gain, not that hard gainer is not a real thing, but like somatotypes and metabolism is real. But people that think they can't gain weight because they have a fast metabolism, quote unquote, aren't eating enough.
You got to eat more.
And people that think they have a slow metabolism and I can't lose weight are eating too much.
You don't say.
That's just how it goes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say like everybody else, go fuck yourself, eat less, move more, period, end of story. Calories are the only thing that matters. Calories do matter. But the sustainability of your mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and more importantly, digestion, and this whole process of it is what makes the calorie deficit, or surplus in this case, sustainable for long enough to make those physiological changes. Change in the mind can happen, boom. You think a thought, it causes an emotion, and now you're spiritually connected to the whole thing. Whether you want to call that God, Mother Nature, or the fucking quantum field, you know what I mean? Whether you're a science, a spirituality, or a religion person, it's all the fucking same thing. All the above, because you actually know everything is connected, and you get all these little lessons that we're fucking dropping for you here. Sometimes it's breadcrumbs, but sometimes it's just a red pill, and we fucking stuff it up your ass. But you got to do what you got to do. All right? So that's the point, is it has to be sustainable. Yes, calories matter. Yes, you have to eat more if you want to get big. You have to eat less if you want to lose fat. But everything has to work together. All right? So he's going to start tracking and becoming more aware and more mindful, because awareness is the first step to any change.
This is true.
And more importantly for him, see, Maria already knew how to cook. So we were just giving her substitutions and telling her do this instead of that. And she was like, oh, this is amazing.
Joey never had anything but Mama's meatballs.
Mama's meatballs and Taco Bell. And it's not good. Yeah. So he's going to learn how to write a shopping list, navigate the grocery store, and buy the proper things, and then cook and meal prep.
When did you start cooking for yourself?
So that's interesting, because cooking in general, very young. But meal prepping and cooking properly, 24.
Yeah, because I started cooking in high school for myself.
Me too. Maybe even earlier than that. But that's just because nobody else was there to cook type of thing for me, so I had to like figure stuff out.
Yeah.
So you could cry about that, oh, I was poor, nobody made me a grilled cheese sandwich. Or that gave me the fucking skills to cook when I needed to when I was in my 20s.
You have a way better skill set than most guys do.
Bro, I'm fucking Emerald Lagasse in this motherfucker.
Dude, the stuff you posted on Instagram the other day? Ooh.
Thank you, brother.
Looking good.
Yeah, dude. I'm the fucking Gordon Ramsay
chef boy
in this motherfucker. Because I enjoy it. I enjoy cooking on every single level the same way I enjoy like exercise on every single level.
It feels good to cook food.
The next
Some people don't like cooking just because it feels like a lot of work. But when you when you connect to the idea that it's becoming what you are and you can enjoy it, and you start getting recipes for stuff you like to eat and you look forward to it.
Because you said feels like a chore. So I make it feel like a fun activity. And I got an audiobook, a podcast, or music on, and I'm preparing healthy nutrients to get to my goals throughout the week. So now that same, I don't wanna, this is a chore, that makes it suck and not sustainable, all I did was change my mindset.
Yeah.
And now it's not only fun in the moment.
You zoomed out a little bit.
It's not only fun in the moment, but it's setting me up for wins down the road.
It's double wins.
That's what we're doing here, is we're fucking stacking up wins. That's why you guys fucking tune into this shit, all right? So he's going to learn how to cook, shop, and meal prep. Now, once again, he gets a little bit more leniency as far as packing in some quote-unquote dirty calories, and we'll call it like an 80-20 split of healthy food to just packing in some pizzas and lasagna and whatnot on the weekends, versus Maria, who was losing weight, so she was staying pretty tight and not as many cheat meals for her. All right. So then X amount of weeks go by where he's drinking his water, getting his sleep patterns better. We're still lifting and learning the form, right? He's getting cooking a little bit better, and he's making smarter choices when he does order out, right? So that's phase 1. X amount of weeks go by feel, by the coaches, how we see how he's progressing, all right? Then phase 2, we're going to tighten up the diet. And what I mean by that is get actual macronutrient ratios, look at what he's been tracking, and be like, dude, this fucking Dunkin' Donuts bagel that's 200 calories that you think is filling you up in the morning is not cutting it, all right? And make some substitutions, all right? Because at the end of the day, this is a whole hormonal game. So instead of a bagel, maybe it's bacon and eggs and some other type of carb, so some easier to digest than the bagel, so your stomach's not fucked up, so you could eat more later. Because that's kind of the biggest thing. So instead of just yelling about, oh, you got to eat more, maybe you got to digest better so your stomach feels you can eat more. And it's still a struggle. If you're losing weight, you're still going to go to bed hungry, and if you're gaining weight, you're still going to be stuffing yourself. I'm not saying that nothing comes. Reality is pain and sacrifice.
You're changing your entire body. It's going to be...
That's the cost of doing business.
Adaptation is...
right. Yeah, if you want to change and get better, but you don't want pain and sacrifice and planning and execution...
Yeah, well, like if Michael Jordan was like, I don't really feel like waking up to practice today. I just don't feel like it. It's like, okay, well...
Dude, I don't feel like it. Well,
keep doing what you're doing. Dude, keep getting what you're getting.
If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. That reminded me of... Kobe used to go in the gym 2 hours before practice while the lights were still off. He would get there before the janitor and just start shooting.
In the dark?
Yep.
That's dope.
And then when people would just going by feel. And when people wanted to leave after, he'd be like, no, where are you going? We're playing one-on-one for another fucking hour. Like, Kobe, I'm tired. Okay, we'll see.
All right. You going to say that on game day?
You want to win or you want to go home? All right? So we're tightening up the diet. We're getting his total calories, which probably matters most, but we're organizing his macronutrient ratios, okay? So we're making some substitutions. For Maria or anybody losing fat, we want to have a shit ton of protein for a couple of reasons. That's going to preserve the muscle that she has, which is going to be a big factor in her metabolism, and more importantly, it has the most satiation or satiety. So that's going to fill her up the most so she doesn't feel too hungry and binge and ruin her caloric deficit. But what we're going to do for fucking Joey Lasagna here is enough protein. We're still going to stick with around the 1 gram per pound of body weight, maybe even 0.8 something, right? Not too much protein, just enough to grow, all right? More protein shakes and powders.
300 grams. I was doing that at one point.
Does not make you bigger.
Nope.
Just so you guys know.
Makes your shit
still
worse.
Want plenty. You just got vitamins and protein shakes, just as smellier, expensive farts and colorful, expensive pee. Okay? So we're going to do this through food. 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein per day. Plenty of healthy fats, but not overboard. Carbohydrates through the roof. That's what we need. So, not shit that's going to get you bloated and shit in your pants and not be able to get to your next meal, but easily digestible carbohydrates that's going to tell the liver to tell the pancreas to secrete insulin, which is a growth hormone. So we can grow. Shit.
There's a reason why you get, insulin is also, you can take exogenous insulin. Bodybuilders who, use substances use
dangerous,
insulin.
Not recommended on the Bridge Podcast.
Not recommended on the Bridge Podcast. Don't do that. But it is a growth hormone. People think of it in relation to diabetes more than anything, but
the big boys are shooting up so they can eat more carbs.
That's the whole thing.
If you fuck that ratio up, that'll be your last
very,
cookie.
Very, very dangerous game.
Be careful with that one. Like I said, you want to eat mushrooms and do steroids, go right ahead. But insulin, be careful.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it that way. So we're going to make sure he has plenty of carbs, right? And then we're going to ride out this phase 2 for as long as possible, because here's where the gains are still packing on. But like I said, I don't want him to discourage in the beginning, and we don't want him to gain too much fat. We want this to be mostly muscle, right? So we're pumping up the carbs. That goes for X amount of weeks. Phase 3, right? This is where we're increasing volume of on the exercises, which we'll get to next time tomorrow when we're writing up the sets and reps and the diet. But basically, if we're going to increase calories, we can increase the stimulus on the body, right? So he's maybe adding some sets. He's definitely adding some reps. In the beginning, he was just adding weight and getting the technique down, and that was great, but we're increasing calories. Now, I always want to increase carbohydrates because of all the aforementioned reasons that we just talked about. But it gets to a point where you're too full, and then I would not add protein. I would add fats just because they're easy to add in, and then it's more hormonal and joint lubrication. And there you go. Because at the end of the day, nobody never lost fat, gained muscle, got bigger, faster, stronger in the gym. Exercise is just a stimulus that when we eat and we rest, then we sleep and we recover and we grow over time.
Things get broken down.
And then we build them back up with sleep, water, and nutrition. Okay?
Simple as that.
Then, so not only are we pumping up the carbs as high as we can again, and maybe sneaking some more healthy fats in, but here's where in phase 3 we would fuck with some meal timing. Meal timing pretty much doesn't matter at all in general when it comes to body composition, but where it is going to matter is fueling performance. So this is where I would take in a bolus of carbohydrates before workout and certainly after workout.
Yep.
You hear people talking about like restoring glycogen, whatever. You're not depleting all your glycogen for fucking every workout. But what you are doing before the workout is fueling that workout with some carbohydrates, maybe a little healthy fats, definitely some protein, so you got some amino acids floating around in the system. But more importantly, after the workout, when you're lifting heavy weights, your insulin sensitivity is at an all-time high, meaning these bolus of carbs, this spike of carbs we're eating, is going to shuttle the most nutrients at that opportune time to the muscles. So more gains for your time.
Yeah.
All right, so we're being as efficient as we possibly can. So that's when I would fuck with. So he's still eating his X amount of meals. We haven't even written it up yet, but certain amount of meals. But now maybe we're shifting them so he gets something easy, once again, easily digestible, so you're not shitting your pants or throwing up in the gym and getting too bloated. So that's where it's going to be timing. Right, we've all been there. The timing of, is it 30 minutes before, is it an hour before, is it 2 hours before, and that's going to be different for everybody.
What's your timing? Do you have a timing?
Oh, dude, I can eat right in between sets.
Could you eat a sandwich?
Right, but I know you need maybe more
like
than an hour
at least.
Yeah. And some people, it's usually like 30 minutes. Yeah. But so right there's 3 discrepancies right with that, because you figured your shit out.
I know your body. I experimented. I did learn it.
And there you go.
And then I stopped.
Shit in pants. 20 minutes out. Must back up the food. All right, so that's how we're going to learn, and that's why Joey's paying us, so he only has to shit himself a couple of 2-3 times and not 18,000 times like we have. All right, so yeah, but I got a pretty iron stomach, but my performance is significantly higher when I get carbs pre-workout, and I'm a guy that runs off of high fat and no carbs and intermittent fasting and long fasting.
I could do like a light carb, like a very very fast digesting carb around workout, pre, intra, post. Oh, definitely post, but pre.
Certainly post, but yeah.
But a fat, anything that has any kind of fat,
there you go.
Just slows my digestion too much.
Totally makes sense.
I already have digestive fluctuations enough just from other stuff.
Sure. Totally makes sense. So that's what we're looking at.
Timing is very specific to the person.
So that's why we have these phases. So we're not fucking pumping them full of peanut butter 30 minutes before the first workout.
And then also, when is he working out is also going to affect his timing as well.
In the day. There we go. And then the last key about timing, we know we want definitely a nice post-workout meal. We're bringing in a nice pre-workout meal to get some carbs pumping. But if he's like, I got no time in the day or room in my stomach, that's when I would put in a before-bed meal that even if it has to be dirty or junky or sweets to just get it in, or more importantly, if it has to be blender so it's liquid and you don't have to chew and it digests easily.
That's a game changer. It helps so much. Like I've done that so many times where I've gotten through the day and I'm short
maintenance,
and I'm just going to get to what I need to get
to what you need to
fill in whatever I need to get in the blender. Just drink it. It's liquid. You're not doing it for the number one complaint I get from other people, because I was a skinny person. I'm lighter now than I used to be. Like I've been up to 170, 175ish before when I did my bulk, and people would complain. Was like, but it doesn't taste good. Like, I'm not doing this because if I want to go taste good, I go to a fine dining restaurant, but this is ultimately the goal. It tastes okay, but I'm doing it because of the calories. I would never go to bed unless I hit my goal. So I would, if I had 1,500 calories in the whole day, I'm like, well, I got to get that another 1,500 calories before bed.
There you go. And that's
the bottom line.
And that's why we set up that's why we set up our purpose and our why beforehand. So when Joey says I'm full and I don't feel good, it's easy to be like, fuck the hose, I don't care about that. And that's fine, because that emotions and moods come and go. But if your real why and your purpose is because you love your higher self and you want to build confidence to be a better person and all the other things, then you can remind Joey politely of that, and that will help him go to the blender, pour some olive oil in, some almond butter, fucking whole milk, load it up. You know what I mean? And then you got to sit there. Nowadays, you get Netflix, and you can just sit there.
Yeah, sit and do what you got to do.
Chug away.
But that's really important, too. Like, something I've been doing recently, when I say recently, with how clients I've been working with the past couple of years, because I'm big on journaling. We're both big on journaling. But having them create a why, a mission statement at the beginning.
First and foremost, in the beginning.
I look at that every single day. I have my own. It changes constantly because I adjust my
life. The mirror, if you got to tattoo it on your fucking head.
If you got to put Ivan Drago in the mirror every day and look at him while you're growing a big beard.
That worked.
That worked.
I mean, we could mention Rocky every week if you want, because those movies fucking never die. But yeah, that's the thing, is your purpose or your why or the deep-rooted reason why you're doing this keeps you going. Superficial shit comes and goes. Emotions come and go, and thoughts come and go. But you and your higher self and your purpose always stay.
There's levels.
All right? There's always levels to this shit. So then that goes for X amount of weeks, X amount of months. Phase 4, we're getting into... This is where we're in between the 3 to 6 month mark. Yeah. And we're going to take a reflection period. So during the reflection period, we're taking a deep breath through our nose. We're eating at a maintenance level of calories and chilling a little bit, a diet break, let's call it, for about 2 weeks. And in this reflection period, we're going back into meditation to see, do we love where we're at now and we just call it a day and build healthy, sustainable habits, or pick a performance goal from here? Or do we like the muscle we built, but we built a bit of chub, so we're going to do a mini cut before, so take a step backwards to take 2 steps forward, cut down some fat, so then we build up more insulin sensitivity, knock some body fat percentage down, and easier to gain muscle going forward? Or do we love everything so much that we're ready to go towards that 185 total long-term goal, and we just keep on bulking? All right, so that reflection period is important spiritually, emotionally, I'm working backwards, mentally and physically, so bottom up with the layers, so that it can keep you sustainable to the longer term goal. All right, so that's where you take a moment so you can reflect, so you don't get into the negative emotions and the this sucks and all this
reflect
other
is
stuff.
Just looking at yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right,
what have I done? Where am I at?
Keep in mind,
who am I now? You know, because before we started, Joey was Amazon, Fortnite, donuts, meatballs, drunk, 3 hours of sleep.
And he thought big biceps and girls were going to make him feel better. But it's really depression, anxiety, and no purpose, and no structure, no schedule, no tribe, and no community. And we're just using the weights as a little fucking...
It's a medium for...
It's a tool.
Finding that.
Just like anything else. All right? So that's where we're at, man. We're going to come back tomorrow. Set up his diet.
Get his program.
Get the program. I think we're going to do a little push-pull legs because the kids are loving that these days. And
we're going to get Joey big.
We'll be back. Fucking Joey 2 times. Getting fucking huge.
Huge.
Peace.